It's becoming a raging controversy, one which former Prime Minister Patrick Manning distanced himself from when he addressed the issue of the church in the heights of Guanapo in the parliament less than a month before the general election, and one which he would tell journalists in his last official interview as Prime Minister that he had no involvement in.
The cabinet approved land on which the church was to be built, and two, no state funding was involved in the construction of the church. The Prime Minister assists as the lighthouse of the Lord Jesus Christ, as indeed he assists other churches.
Mr. Manning went so far as to identify the PM named in the letter as a project manager.
I'm advised that in the construction industry, PM also means project manager. So that is one possibility.
But since then, it's come to light that the PM who allegedly called the shots in the church was the then Prime Minister Patrick Manning. CNC3 has been informed that Attorney General Annan Ramlogan is awaiting an official file on the church in the heights of Guanapo before instructing that an investigation be launched by the Anti-Corruption Bureau, which falls under his office. And Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa says the DPP, the police and the Integrity Commission have the necessary documents to proceed.
As far as I'm aware, those documents are with the relevant authorities, and we trust that they will do their job in terms of conducting the investigation.
Among other things, we are told the investigation will seek to determine whether Stephen Mendes, the man initially hired by Calder Hart to design the church, the lighthouse of the Lord Jesus Christ, was asked to do the plans pro bono, that's for free, and if so, was there misbehavior in public office under the Prevention of Corruption Act in 1987. Mr. Mendes has publicly admitted he met Mr. Manning twice at his St. Clair office. The meetings were arranged by Calder Hart. A similar investigation, we are told, would involve Calder Hart, the former executive chairman and CEO of UDCOT, who would be investigated to determine whether he brought pressure on Mendes to design the church free of charge. An investigation would also seek to determine who was paying Shanghai, and if they were doing the project pro bono, then how were they going to recover the costs. And while the AG launches an investigation at the official level, political scientist Vishnu Raghunath told CNC3 News that the Integrity Commission must also investigate the issue involving the church. From where he sits, Raghunath says the commission must investigate whether the former Prime Minister abused his office to get the church built for free. This, he says, can amount to corruption in public office. Dr. Raghunath agrees that the question of funding must be also investigated. He says the commission must of necessity investigate who was funding the church and was the church being built with the intention for personal use. And what of Mr. Manning's future in the PNM? Well, Dr. Raghunath says the harshest move the party can make under the leadership of Dr. Keith Rowley would be to ask him to resign as the MP of San Fernando East. But he believes the party would not go that route since it would involve a by-election. As to the parliament, well, Dr. Raghunath says if Mr. Mendes' statement is true, Mr. Manning would have been found to have lied to the parliament when he said he had no involvement in the church, but because that last parliament lapsed, no action can be taken against him. Dr. Raghunath says what can happen now is that the sitting Prime Minister or another government MP can place on the records of Hansard what the investigation has shown and let the record show that the original statement of the church was untrue.